All right, let's check out this video.
Have I played EVE Online? Not enough. EVE Online is remarkably complicated, and I fear that if I said anything about it wrong, they would manage to organize, because they are very good with spreadsheets, and take me down very quickly. I don't really want to try and annoy the EVE people. I mean, I'm not too bothered if the Mortal Online community get mad at me, because I'm pretty sure all 10 of them could probably, if they worked really hard, come together to make my day a little bit annoying. But if the EVE community got really annoyed at me, that would be bad.
Well, I guess we're just going to have to do it ourselves. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we can do the tutorial. This is EVE Online. It is a 23 gig download, and it is free to play, kind of. Asterisk. We'll go into that later. Let's try a new character. All right, so there's 4 different corporations, or 4 different groups, I guess, that I can join. First of all, I want to suggest that I have a lot of respect for Josh Strife. I'm not going to be able to do as good of a quality as some of his videos when it comes to doing the worst MMO ever version of this for EVE Online, but I'm going to just do my best. And really, this is an opportunity for us to go through the new MPE and look at what does and doesn't work, because this is the first, our best foot forward kind of situation. This is how we both bring people into the game and set them up for success within the game. So knowing that, obviously, I also am not a new player, so I cannot come with it with the absolute ignorance of somebody who's never touched it before. But at the same time, we will be looking at some insights from a more experienced point of view to kind of flesh out what might have been missing in some of these tutorials. All right. So first of all, there's 4 empires. Choose an empire to explore: Mimitar, Galente, Caldari, and Amar. Each of them have a description, but none of them seem to really apply to the actual corporation or the empire. Or it's just a quote. So this is free our people from slavery. To fight for anything less is to betray the Republic. Okay. The Federation is a beacon of democracy and liberty in the chaos of New Eden. In our Caldari state, wealth and power only comes from loyalty to the corporation. And our mighty empire is built upon the faith of our creator and the loyalty to the throne. Well, I think wealth and power is what EVE Online is all about. So we're going to go with Caldari. Oh, I can still switch to the other groups. This is the different ships. Pilot's first ship, high-tech frigate, scouting and exploration. Already, this is a lot of information without very much context, right? Like, am I supposed to start learning this stuff now? Should I go through all of these and try to look at them? Cargo vessel. Okay, the first ship, basic mining, combat, and exploration. Disrupt electronic systems and weapons of other ships. A well-shielded missile battleship that is the backbone of Caldari combat fleets. And a specialized frigate designed for scouting and exploration. Okay. A cargo vessel used to transport large volumes of goods across the universe. Also, it doesn't necessarily force you to understand the icons, but it does put them there kind of as a subconscious introduction to the concept. I really like that. I do not like the fact that this menu up here is so subtle, and the fact that once you select your empire, your focus is drawn down here. So people aren't necessarily going to see these pieces. This should probably be closer to this button. So that way, like, people can even understand that those things are available. Or either way, this UI element I feel is too subtle. Innovators of hybrid weapon technology. We strive for distance dominating and sacrificing accuracy. Highly skilled pilots can earn the necessary qualifications to fly any vessels. So I know this, and you may know this, but this is not a hybrid weapon. What are you doing? Like, a new player can't process that this isn't the correct information, and they know nothing more than to just associate these things together. That's really bizarre. That also, it doesn't actually mention missiles anywhere in here. It just says hybrid weapons, shield tanks, but shows missile launchers. I can only hope that that's an oversight. Well, let's look at the other races too while we're at it. And then politics. The Caldari state. We prize hard work, sharp minds. Great. Gallente have unlawfully occupied our homeworld of Caldari Prime. We defy their occupation. Will defend our settlements to the death. This is not accurate. This hasn't been accurate since 2007. While we prefer trade over war... No, sorry, 2012. Since Operation Highlander. While we prefer trade over war, the Gallente colonial meddling has left us with no choice but to engage in conflict. So they don't like the Gallente. No, seriously, though. Like, they retook Caldari Prime. Wait, hold on. Nope, I'm double wrong. This is actually correct. Because we took down the Titan in Caldari Prime. They retook Caldari Prime with Tibus Heth in 2007. That's where I got that from. But then we took out the blockade in 2012-ish. Now I have no idea whether or not there's Gallentes unlawfully occupying the homeworld of Caldari Prime, but I don't believe so to this day. We'll look into it some other time. Founded by the deserters of the Caldari Navy, the Garissas are nothing more than traitors to the state. Their dealings with the black market and human trafficking sully honorable Caldari trade with violence and greed. All right. Let's look at the other... Let's see about... just real quick. Let's look at the other weapon systems. This is correct, but it doesn't necessarily talk about the fact that their secondary weapon systems are drones, and it also doesn't talk about their ability to use missiles, but I guess you can get into that later. Projectiles. Yeah, none of the second weaponry systems are listed here. Also, this says, we specialize in close range combat so that we can defeat our enemies before they have the chance to escape. This says... Oh. So this doesn't mention projectiles in here. It's down here. This doesn't mention... Oh, this says blaster weapons and drones. What? This says blaster weapons and drones, and this just says hybrid weapons. And in fact, it is the only one that actually mentions or has a block that is specifically about their weapon system, and it's the wrong weapon system. Okay, I'm gonna move on, but come on now. All right. So there's 3 different groups, male or female. There's the DTs, regarded as the face of leadership with sharp, ordered minds and articulate tongues. Now, the thing I don't like about... I mean, like, all of this is cool, and it's RP stuff, but, yeah, here it goes. Oh, never mind, it is right here. Note, bloodline selection will influence your character's appearance only. It does not affect your skills or abilities. And also, earlier, it said that everybody can train everything, so good, it lets people know that. Although, it seems that people managed to make it through there without catching on to what that means. But, intensely spiritual, highly competitive. All right, we're going to go with highly competitive. And in the spirit of Josh Strife Hayes, we're just going to try to make the most extreme face we can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now you're getting somewhere. Hold on. And it's actually kind of funny because a lot of people do make themselves some monstrous looking face. Oh gosh. Yes. Yes, the tiny ears, man. The tiny ears, man. A lot of people do make themselves kind of monstrous if they're intimidating or PvP focused. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Let's make one really small lip. And one like... Oh, that actually looks normal. There we go. Other way around. Absolutely. Is there any other... Oh. Which... There. Yes. Yes. Oh, I can change his body too. Awesome. All right. No, I mean, he doesn't need to have like a big old chest. Oh, there we go. There we go. Dad bought it. Hold on. Toggle close. We'll get to the eyebrows. Let's see. I want well, let's see if there's what these are. Shape, muscularity, maximum. Wait, that was not muscular? This is not muscular. That's not he's got veins popping out. All right, man. There we go. Let's scrawny this guy up. Oh, there we go. There we go. That is a hero. That is the look of a hero. Let's get some bigger... Get some bigger eye. I agree. We need different... Can we get... Is there like... Oh, there's very little eyebrow choices. Oh. I can have a dastardly goatee. Like, yes. He definitely likes potato chips. Oh, the soul patch. This guy has a soul patch, that's for sure. Oh, there's different hair? Okay. Well, now he just looks too cool. That's not okay. Maybe bald was the best. Maybe it gave us the best we could get. Oh, that's... No, I think the balding really... It really did play it off. All right. Complexion. What's the weird... Whoa. All right. Oh, looking a little sickly there. I think that pale ghost one is probably the best. Oh. Is that yellow or green? It's hard to tell. I think green. Either way. And then really old. Yes. There we go. There we go. He's a ginger now. Excellent. Skin details. Okay, eye details. What's the difference? Oh. Oh yeah, no. So has he this is got a good night's sleep? Has an 8-year-old. Right? We're going to go with has an 8-year-old. Wayne Rooney. Opacity. Oh, okay. It's changing the color of the eyeshadow. Why is it called eye detail? That's so weird. Okay, so that's no opacity. All opacity. Okay, we're going to go with all opacity. Now he looks like a zombie. Lash thickness. Now, knowing what I know about how important your character's portrait is to the grand scheme of things, I really feel like having details like lash thickness in the character creation may send the wrong message as to how you experience this game. I can't even... Oh my gosh. Oh, yes, though. Oh, yes. Wait, did I even change anything? Hold on. Oh, what? Oh, no, no. I can't even tell. I can't tell. Whatever. We're going to make it thick. We're going to go thick. Cheek color. Okay. You can make it blue. He's been drinking. He really is trying to look like a zombie. I like the blue. Lip tone. Why doesn't these tell me what the difference is? I can't tell. Like, what if I hover over one? Like, they obviously have hover over effects. I can see that, and it says select clothing and stuff. Why doesn't these tell me what these are? I can't. There's no difference. These are the same picture. All right. But like, but if I go here and I turn down the opacity, I get like the same freaking thing. What is the difference? What is... Yes, he's single, ladies. Like, I don't know. I can't. I don't understand what these last two even do. Yeah, we're going to go with the... Yeah, he is straight out of Thriller. Clothes. Oh, good. Lots of... I do like the style of the clothing, and I do like the fact that they keep everything pretty consistent aesthetically, and then at the same time, each race has their own kind of style. So this is, you know, the Kaldari setup. You can obviously get all of the clothes, or you can get clothes, different clothes later. That looks too cool. We gotta... I think we gotta go with like the Marty McFly look, right? I wish we could dye this. I want this vest red. Can I get a red safety vest? You can resculpt later, but that is a microtransaction, which we'll talk about. Mid layers. Oh, no, no, no. No. Okay. Top. I think once again, we started out with the magic. I think that's just it. All right. Down here, pants. Gotta have some pants. We've got tucked in settings. Now, again, this kind of sets the wrong picture, given the fact that you, at the moment, can't even show your feet to people for the most part. It's interesting that they give you different tucking options. And by interesting, I mean, it feels unnecessary and distracting. Let's see. None of these feel different enough to stand out at the moment. Let's just go with these. Tucking. Wait. Oh, it's the shirt tucking. It's how the shirt is tucked in. Wait. there are two tucking settings. So if this tucking setting is the other, the tucking mini game is very confusing in this game. I think that we need a tutorial for the tucking meta. I don't. Whoa. Oh. There we go. Definitely. What? All right. Oh, there's more tucking. Even more tucking. Welcome, Lioneer, and your raiding party. Thank you for that. We are checking out EVE Online from a perspective of like Josh Strife Hayes' worst MMO ever series. What we've discovered is that there is a very deep and complex tucking mechanic within the game. There are three layers of tucking with this one has 2, this one has 2, and this one has 4. However, if this one is tucked, then these ones end up not mattering, it would appear. But if this one's untucked, then these do change the way that the bottom is done, which means that there is what? There's 4 plus 1 times 2. So there's 10 different ways to tuck your pants and boots in this game. This is why people never make it through the tutorial. Eyewear. Oh, probably should be up here. Oh boy. Oh boy. I guess we're all pilots, so we got to have like the highway to the danger zone glasses. I think. Oh, well, those are green. They match my shirt. Wait, I just want clear, right? Isn't that kind of, well... I think this is it. This is it. Body modifications. The yellowish ones are for snipers. Good. Oh. Oh, that is metal. We've decided that we're a zombie. This is a very well done character customization tool for a game that doesn't leverage it to any extent that is useful. All right, Lioneer, have a good one. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the raid. Okay. I can have the side nose ring. I can have the other side nose ring. The no nose ring. The bull one. So we're gonna go right side. Ears high. Wow. There's okay. Again, the dress up meta in this game is pretty complex. I don't think people appreciate exactly how much choice that we really have. Looks like a Sancha implant. Which one? The studs? Ears low. Oh, that's kind of cool, I guess, as far as these things go. Oh my gosh, there's like, I didn't even know. I don't know if I didn't remember these or whatever, but just straight up plugs. Why can you only have like one ear? Oh, there we go. That's the 2-ear one. Haha. That's... If there's going to be one-ear options, I want to be able to put one on each ear. It's strange what kind of things that they give you choice with and what kind of things that they don't, right? Oh, a lip ring? Snake bite? Snake bite. He's starting to become dangerously cool again, but we'll see. Little sockets. We'll go with little sockets. Tattoos. Barcode. Well, if you work for the state. Let's go with the barcode. I can change the color of the barcode. Wow, that is actually amazingly good looking ink. This entire character creator looks stunning. It looks like it's for a very intense, like, standard MMO. Oh, I can have a messed up eye, but I can't even see that. I like how there's scarring and scars. It does look like a game that you can walk in stations. Womp womp. All right. I think this is good enough. Let's jump in. Okay, it gives me a portrait. Oh yes, look at that man. Look at that hunk of flesh. Choose your education. Combat Pilot Center, Academy for Exploration, or Department of Industry. Well, obviously I'm going combat, and I'm going to do Ash, Strife, Haze. Strange, that's not taken already. Let's jump in. Yes, I do want to start the tutorial.
New Eden, a universe brimming with possibility and rife with adventure. Only the most intrepid capsuleers can conquer its many wonders.
So,
You have what it takes to become one with the machine, to explore the far reaches of space.
this is
Carving out a name for yourself among the stars.
this is actually the third time I've done this
Industry, a
tutorial, and
vessel
every single time this has been completely unoptimized.
or to prove your worth in combat, cementing new alliances and vanquishing your foes on your
This-
road to glory. For the rare few, immortality awaits. With AIR's Capsuleer training program, you become the architect of your own destiny.
I don't know what's going on there, but it needs to get fixed. It's always done that. Because now it's okay. It's like they don't give it time to buffer or something.
Greetings, Captain. I am Aura, your AI companion. I am here to help you find your way through New Eden.
This is
Welcome
gorgeous.
to the first day of your new life as a Capsuleer. I am now transferring your pod into a ship provided by
Oh,
Air.
no!
As part of your Captain, an unidentified communicator. Vectoring escape route.
This is good. It gets their attention, it gets things excited, and it rises the stakes. Now,
Integrity compromised.
where do they go with this? That's the question. Do they... And I wish that I'd be able to get to this point without being so frustrated with the beginning of this video. That's you, Chapster. Oh no!
Captain, this cloning facility was attacked before your capsule could be inserted into a ship. I initiated our evacuation sequence before we reached the hangar to avoid certain death. No need to thank me.
Okay, so controls are left click and drag to turn around camera, right click and drag to move camera around without actually changing its position. Nobody ever uses that. Mouse wheel to scroll in, but it is... Nope, that makes sense. Scroll wheel up, zooms out. Scroll wheel down, zooms in. Let's hit next.
This baptism by fire is certainly not what Air had planned for your first day in a pod. Rest assured, I am here to help.
Okay. You look... I'm not getting friendly vibes off of Aura with the lighting, though. I gotta say.
I'm unable to identify our attackers, but they are not currently targeting our capsule. This gives us time to locate a ship.
Okay.
Oh! Now, let's get a better look at our surroundings.
I feel like I've missed something, and now I know what she was going to be saying, but, like, it's very simple to click and try to move the...
Ah, there is a ship still capable of flight. An Astero, no less. A fine ship indeed.
Click on the highlighted ship.
I have highlighted the navigation section of your display. Use it to approach the ship.
I do like the fact that the elements get introduced one at a time and only what's important to you. So that way, because often what they'll do is they'll just like say the overview without actually like really... when it's just a clutter of stuff, it's too much for a new player to hunt through. So this is good.
Board the Astero now.
Okay. Is that going to happen every time I board a ship? Because that was pretty cool.
Our shields took significant damage in the attack.
What are you talking about? We just hijacked this Astero. It isn't ours. Shields are depleted.
The armor is also in need of repair.
Okay.
I believe the appropriate idiom for this situation is, we're screwed.
Well, I mean, I'm just following your instructions, Aura. I do like the fact that the hit points flashed.
Fortunately, the cavalry has arrived.
Okay.
Sparing air transponders are approaching our location.
Good. Am I doing well? Am I just going through cutscenes?
This is Balin Ferris, Commander of Air Security. All ships evacuating this cloning facility are advised to rendezvous at emergency coordinates.
Who's that? I mean, with all these camera movements, you would think that the camera would actually, like, point to the guy talking? Is those nesters the one talking? I know that they're nesters.
Several thousand civilians appear to have survived the attack. Let us make haste and join the fleet Commander Ferris is organizing.
Why not do that
will display the ships in your vicinity
when he's talking? I wish that you would have talked about the... Well, okay, never mind. She did say that. Your overview will display ships in your vicinity. I wish that she said exactly what she said. Okay. Is that...
Captain, your vessel looks like it's seen better days. I'll repair you once you're in range.
That's not how damage works right now, right?
Commander Ferris, were you able to determine the identity of our attackers?
Negative, Aura. Their transponders were cloaked and their hulls lacked any identifying information. I'd wager this was an act of corporate espionage turned violent. There are a lot of people in New Eden who want to get their hands on Air's technology, whatever the cost.
Okay.
After Commander Ferris's repairs, our ship is almost as good as new. At his command, we will proceed to the emergency coordinates.
Okay. At his command.
All ships enter warp formation.
How? What does that even mean? What? I feel like the tutorial is moving forward, whether or not I know what the hell is going on or not. And it is very easy to feel like you don't quite know what you're doing.
Warp drive active.
But maybe that's okay. It might be nice if he said something about that. Like, they acknowledge the fact that you're new and just, hey, just stick with us. So my attention immediately goes to that.
Designated emergency evacuation zone. We'll be safe here while we regroup.
Is the MPE a tutorial? Well, it is a tutorial. It'd be nice if it's as invisible as possible. So far, actually, as far as invisible tutorial is concerned, it still doesn't do that good of a job, because it's like they're saying this is how to do it. Now do it. But
Well chosen.
we'll see what we get there.
Cosmic abnormalities
We're still
marked
teaching a
off
lot of basics.
signatures from detection.
That I feel like they're introducing a lot of concepts that never get followed up on.
Wonders will have to wait.
Captain, I could use
Oh,
your
so
help. My
the camera does
sensors are
snap
picking up
there.
a strange signal nearby, but my forces are stretched thin defending the civilian fleet.
Okay.
The cosmic storm likes to play with our sensors, so it could be nothing. But after that attack, I'm not taking any chances.
See, this is good. This one is correct. They can pull this up and I can be like, what are they even talking about? Right as he's talking. And then as he's talking, I go, oh, they're talking about that thing. Whereas before, when he just starts talking and then after he's done talking, they point out who he is. That feels it. The problem is that a distraction like that makes it more difficult to process what they are saying. Right? You might miss the instructions. Also, this time, it's every step so far, there's been a next step, but this time there's a previous step. We'll see. I don't really want to tempt it. Okay, hit approach. I am going 300 meters per second, and that is 60 kilometers away. This is going to take a while.
Initiating scan of unidentified signal. Captain, hostiles inbound.
Okay. Well, I really wish I knew what I was doing.
We have to defend those unarmed civilian transports. All ships equipped for combat, form up around me.
Okay, orbit Balin's ship. So this time, they don't point me to exactly what it is, but now they're flashing it. That's actually really good. The first time it's explicit, the second time it's suggestive. But it is explicit about select orbit because it is the first time that you're being told to do exactly that action. So,
My sensors indicate that these are the same ships that attacked the cloning facility.
it's almost a crawl, walk, run style of teaching concepts. I feel like the pacing is a little bit
Several frigates are breaking away from
different.
attack. They're targeting those civilian ships.
Like, there are parts that drag, and then there are parts that feel way too
This will be your first combat
rushed
experience
in a
as
weird
a
way.
Fusilier. Time to
Okay.
show these hostiles what you're truly made of.
Select the enemy in the overview.
Orbit the frigate first.
Orbit.
We're too far away, Captain. Thankfully, our ship is equipped with a module that will boost our speed.
Okay.
Activate the afterburner module.
Oh, there's words in there that she doesn't actually say.
Ancient idioms contains a phrase appropriate to our situation. Drive it like you stole it.
Okay, click on that. Left click the afterburner.
Now within range. Lock your target.
Lock.
Target lock confirmed. Time to hit them where it hurts.
Here you can see your locked target's shield, armor, and structure. So, next.
Fire at will, Captain. Make sure to use both of your guns.
All right. Combat. So,
That's it, Captain.
ladies and gentlemen, combat. And this is actually one of the problems with EVE Online that they have to work on, which is the fact, or like that they've always kind of worked on, which is the idea that the actual combat itself is not always very
Now
visceral.
lock and fire on the remaining hostiles.
It doesn't feel. I just did it the correct way. I guess I'm going to hit orbit. They're not. Yeah, orbit, lock, and fire. So I click on these. Like this text flies by way too fast, and some of this information is never recoverable. This is the kind of information and feedback that needs to be made available to the player if they're going to be able to understand what the heck is going on, right? Normally, most games have this in like a chat, like you can have a chat box where this stuff is part of, so you can scroll back up. There is a log for things, but A, they don't teach you about it, and B, it doesn't store the actual damage type information. So if you're not paying attention to this as it flies by, it's very difficult to like understand even what's going on. And that is the only real indication that you're doing something. And so without that understanding, it just kind of feels like you click a button and wait for it to be done.
Combat can be such a glorious experience.
I'm not flying my ship, I'm watching the ship fly itself.
Another hostile ship incoming. A cruiser this time. It's larger and better armed than those frigates. What an exhilarating way to test your combat abilities.
Okay, click orbit, right? Yes. Why can't I lock? Oh, not in targeting range. There we go. It says, okay, so, and I can see hotkeys. So this says control hotkey. So I can just hit control. Control does nothing.
To ensure success, we must lock our target.
Okay, let's try the other hotkeys. E? E does nothing. Well, let's shoot. Wait, what are they supposed to do? I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and I can't see anything.
Activate the webifier.
It.
They're trapped in our web, Captain. Eliminate them.
Is that good? Okay, so it told me to web it, but I don't. So the original career agents introduced the webs even better than this, because the problem is that if you're going to be introducing a mechanic, you want people to be able to see the effect of what they're having. Like I was just talking about how shooting doesn't feel like it's impactful, but at least I can see like their hit points going down as I'm shooting. But like with the web, what you want to do is show them unable to hit the thing or catch up with the thing or whatever it is, without webbing them, And then once they web them, now the fact that they're going slowly matters. Right here, I was just told to web them. And I could very easily not caught Y to do it. And so I don't actually know what a web does. Does it make me faster? Does it make it so I stick to them? Like, this is your opportunity to introduce these mechanics through scenario. And you need to demonstrate its effectiveness.
Breaking away from the enemy fleet. They're stopping the last civilian transport from warping away. Watch your six, Captain. They're bigger and badder than anything you fought before.
Okay.
Captain, we can use electronic countermeasures, ECM, to break the battleship's lock on the civilian transport. Doing so means the battleship will be able to target only one thing. Us.
Oh, is that what I want?
There is no other way to save those civilians. They are not capsuleers like you. Their deaths will be final. Yours will be a learning experience.
I do... Okay. Select the enemy. I do like the fact that your destruction is more or less your choice.
You can to keep the other hostiles off your back, Captain. Focus on your target.
Once we deploy the ECM, the battleship will begin firing upon...
That's it. The final group of civilians
I-
has escaped.
Except for I failed to jam.
Captain.
I failed to jam.
We're taking heavy fire, Commander Ferris. Once our ship is destroyed, the pod will soon follow. According to my calculations, our destruction is 99.99% certain.
Why can't I warp away my pod?
Damn it. These bastards have me pinned down. I won't be able to reach you in time.
Wait, I thought all the civilian... Oh, are those not civilians?
You fought well today,
Oh.
Captain. This is a warrior's death. Luckily for you, it will not...
She cut herself off. Was that intentional, actually? Because it was lucky for you.
Capsuleer. For you,
Oh,
it's not an end. It is simply the beginning of a new adventure.
lucky for you, you are a capsuleer.
I will see you on the other side.
Is that intentional? I thought there was more words and it got cut off.
Welcome back to the world of the living, Captain. I hope your
Thank
death
you.
was not too uncomfortable. Your neural data has been transferred to a fresh clone body. But before you stretch your new legs, someone very important would like to meet you.
All right.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Vesper Calatrix, Air's Vice President of Operations.
What's that sound?
Commander Ferris spoke highly of your courage under fire. You went out with quite the bang.
Hey,
Since
that's
your
the
ship
ship I
was
had.
destroyed in a blaze of
Stero.
Air would like to provide you with a new one.
Oh, I get a new ship?
Enabling your station services panel. You can now board the ship provided to you by Air. Try not to blow this one up so quickly.
I gotta say that feels a bit disingenuous. I think I said this last time.
I do hope the new vessel is to your liking. This particular model is quite popular with capsuleers. Air owes you a great debt for your bravery and sacrifice.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for this special air vessel. Was that it?
So great, in fact,
Oh.
that I've thrown in an extra module at my own expense.
Excellent. I don't... Module is a thing that I click so far. Does that mean that there's an extra
Dying
module on the
just
ship?
like this, you should consider doing it more often, Captain. That was a joke. I prefer you alive. You can access items in your hangar, like modules, from the Neocom.
I feel like this is pretty awful, given the fact that, like, so everything else has been pointed to so far. Hold on. Let me actually shrink this down a little bit for just a second. So you know, this is obviously telling me about this, and I know this, but a new person, like, they've pointed to everything else so far, and they don't point to this as the neocom. The neocom and the overview are the two UI elements that need to be introduced the most, because they are the ones that are both completely foreign to a normal person. Like, if you just take a normal gamer, even a hardcore MMOer, and you said, hey, get this off your overview, you know, select the ship on your overview, they won't know what you're talking about. That's not a word that exists outside of EVE Online in this sense. Same with Neocom, right? So you really need to break down what it is, what it's called, and what to use it for. Just simply pointing out that you can go to the Neocom without even pointing to the Neocom and just hoping that people recognize the fact that this E is the same as this E and not somewhere else, even though that's like the Eve E. Like, there's other menus. So according to this, what about the other menus? Are the with cheeseburger menus? See, and then they point to the inventory. Highlight the section of your Neocom. I mean, at this point, I'm so confused I might not catch that. A lot of people don't understand that that's the Neocom. Also, is this the Neocom? Is this the Neocom? What's the Neocom? How does the Neocom work? Why are you assuming that I understand how to use the Neocom? Oh. I looked at it. It says buy. It wants me to buy something. Buy and inject. Check on. Continue.
A small armor repairer. An extremely useful gift.
That is allowing a new player to get themselves kind of in trouble.
Well, I'm sure you will have many more exciting
days in
your future. Maintaining your armor might allow you to enjoy life in your current clone body just a bit longer.
Everything's so faded. Continue.
You can fit the module to your ship by accessing the fitting window from the Neocom. The fitting window displays your current ship's equipment, stats, and attributes. Now would be a good time to examine your ship's attributes.
So I talked about this last time, and like, oh, is this click? It just says click on one of them, but it doesn't tell you anything about them. And then it just moves on. It just moves on. You just confused the hell out of me. You did not teach something to me. You confused me and then moved on to the next topic. What am I supposed to get out of these panels? What's EHP? What's the... Okay, HP. What's the difference between EHP and HP? What are all these numbers? What is 6 points of what? Like, don't tell me to check it out and then leave me high and dry and then move on to the next topic. Let me like drill in. Don't make me have to go through all of the things, but allow me to be like, you know, when I clicked on one, it should give me more information about that section. No, I'm not asking too much of the MPE, because the MPE is our best option to be able to get people into the game and knowledgeable about the game. We should expect as much as we possibly can out of the tutorial. And the whole point of this is to give feedback to help improve the whole thing. Okay, so I lost my repper. I don't know. I can click on this. I mean, if this opened up this, that would be good. But it doesn't. So I'm broke at that point. But I can keep going.
Module fitting confirmed.
Unable to bring small armor repper to
now, bring the module
it just
online.
So many messages fly past you and then disappear when you're half done reading them, that it's going to cause a new player some pretty high anxiety if they do try to read it. If they don't try to read it, then they don't know what's going on. If they do try to read it, then they know how much they don't know what's going on.
It appears you do not currently possess the skill necessary to use this module. Hardly surprising. You still have much to learn.
And yes, that is the same message, but I wouldn't know that.
I'll send the necessary skill book to your AI right now. Under normal circumstances, you would have received a basic skill set as part of the Air Capsuleer training program. Your training was violently disrupted, to say the least.
No need to apologize, Miss Calatrix. The situation is easily remedied. Captain, you can find the skill book in your item hanger.
If you said as part of my training, where's the rest of it? Can I get all of the skill books for my training?
Capsuleers learn skills like flying ships or using modules by rewiring their neural pathways. The skill book contains the mapping data required to perform such a feat.
All right, I'm going to pause. I'm going to look at some of these things that are trying to get my attention down here, because right now all I can see is a next and whatnot. And right away we see our first microtransaction. So this says upgrade your piloting potential with 150,000 skill points. Hasn't introduced what skill points are, but I guess I am jumping into this early, and it's $6.99 for what looks like 150,000 skill points. This is something that's been complained about before with these splash screens, is the fact that these 3 bullet points, 2 of these bullet points are real things that you get. And the third bullet point is, or the middle bullet point is a detail about like the potential of what this could do, but it's listed as one of the things that you get for the skill plan, which makes a relatively good deal feel deceptive. Like, this feels like if I buy this, it would unlock the skills that I require for accessing high-powered ships and weapons. And I know this happens because I've had people come up to me and not understand why that didn't happen. That what do you mean? I bought the thing. Where's the high-powered ships and skill and stuff that I can use? What? No, I don't need to train the skills. I bought the thing to unlock them. Right? All right, let's jump back into that.
Skill books are consumable. Once we inject it into your neural interface, you will be left with nothing but a new and improved version of yourself. Augmentations such as this are one of the many benefits of life as a capsuleer. Absorbing the skill book's data rewrites the neural pathways in your brain, teaching you the skill. This process can take some time.
So it's the Matrix. I know Kung Fu. Okay, inject the skill. Hover over your mouse and click the skill, over the skill book, and then click the inject skill.
We will begin the process by accessing the skill queue from your neocom. Here you will see the Air Skill Plan. Skill plans provide capsuleers with a learning experience tailored to their specific goals.
Open the Air Skill Plan indicated on your... Click here.
The skill needed to online your new module is included in the Air Skill Plan. Now, begin training the skill.
To speed the process along, I've gifted you with a skill injector. It's the least I can do, considering the role you played in saving thousands of lives.
To finalize the skill injection process, be sure to confirm allocation of its resources, most commonly known as skill points.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they don't use the redemption window for this. Oh, yeah. If I'd spent the $6.99, then maybe I wouldn't have had to do this. Confirm? Okay. I am so confused right now. Why is this ticking down? what does this mean? What, like, I assume that skills allow me to do things. Like, I can't use the armor repper because I don't have the repair system skill. This thing, oh, yep, unlocked. Because of this skill, it unlocks this thing. But, like, there has been, this would be a wonderful time to introduce a little bit more about how the skill system works and what they should do with it, rather than just move on. But apply allocated skill points. Confirm.
You should close these windows as well.
It really does. It still bothers me. It still bothers me that it tells you to close the skill window without setting a new skill. Oh, and the inventory.
Now that you have the required skill, try activating the small armor repair module once more.
Click on the offline module to bring it online.
Very well done, Captain. Your ship's modules are now online. Knowing how to train skills and fit modules is an essential step in your journey as a capsuleer.
Okay.
But
I just realized I
questions
fit the
remain.
thing. Oh well.
Who attacked the cloning facility? And what were their motivations?
That's a good question.
Our investigation is still in the early stages, but I have two theories. The attack may have been motivated by simple greed. There's no shortage of competitors who would kill to acquire Air's groundbreaking cloning and capsule technology. Literally. A more worrying possibility is that someone out there is trying to stop us from pursuing our research. While Air prides itself for being a disruptor of New Eden's tech scene, there are those who think we push the limits of innovation too far.
Oh.
The technology suppression laws in New Eden are draconian, if you ask me.
Well, this is already setting them up. Technology suppression laws. So maybe the attack was lawful?
I trust you will keep us updated on the investigation, Miss Calatrix.
Do I not?
And you'll want to keep your wits about you once we're back in space. To that end, I highly recommend closing any unnecessary windows on your display. It would be a shame to lose our lovely new ship because you didn't see the danger flying towards it.
Okay, so close the fitting window. Do I not feel that...
I could do more for you, Captain. But I'm a busy woman and I have places to be. What I can do is put you in touch with contacts of mine who can help you grow as a capsuleer.
All right. So, do you not feel that they're trying to cram too much info into what is classified as the MPE? Well, so the issue is that they are introducing these concepts, but they're not, by not explaining them, they are causing the player to become confused, right? And the issue with a tutorial like that is that if they get confused at step one, then the chances of them even processing or fully being able to understand any subsequent piece degrades because they're already confused. They're not like it's like a distraction on top of everything else. And so I think that they are focusing sometimes on the wrong things. And more importantly, yeah, I think that the MPE should teach these basics of how things work, because that's the only tutorial that they get. And so if, like, at the very least, the tutorial, in my opinion, should be teaching them how to get information out of the client itself, right? So what the overview means, how the Neocom works, how, all these kinds of things, those are the concepts that I feel that somebody really should be able to get out of a traditional tutorial. The fact that you can walk away from the tutorial without understanding how to interface with the game feels to me like you've spent 30 minutes showing people pretty videos and not actually teaching people the game.
A perfect opportunity to familiarize yourself with the agency.
Okay. Hopefully this is better than familiarizing myself with the stats on my like, for instance, that's a good one with the fitting one with the statistics on the side. Two things about that. One, I explicitly said that it shouldn't just be listed. One of the problems with this tutorial, in my opinion, is that it's one thing after the other after the other. And I would much prefer things that you can branch into, right? I should be able to click on each of those statistic types and have Aura tell me a little bit about it. But if I click on none of them, then I can just move on, right? So I can drill in if I want to, and I can move on if I want to. That, I feel, would be a much better way for the newer player to be able to seek out their understanding and, you know, they are better able to process how overwhelmed they are at any given moment than CCP's prediction.
The agency is your window into New Eden and all the cluster has to offer. As a new Capsuleer, you are the architect of your own destiny. You could unearth secrets hidden among the stars, or prove your mettle in the field of combat. You might even be New Eden's next great business tycoon. The choice is yours.
Spending 2 hours outside of a game watching YouTube videos is a better way to spend my time than doing tutorial missions, IMO. I don't know if you're being sarcastic in that, but I will suggest that the vast majority of players won't do that, either because they're unwilling to or they won't think about it, and they could be perfectly good players. It's just the game didn't teach itself. If you're not willing to go through the effort to properly teach me the game, then why should I respect the game? Why should I? You're trying to convince me to invest in this game, to get deeper into this game, to decide whether or not I want to get deeper into this game. And so letting me poke at things and start to understand stuff, I think is a big way to make that happen. At this point, the problem is that it's far too easy for a new player to just walk away from the tutorial feeling very confused and not really grasping any of the concepts that they were introduced to.
The contacts Vesper suggests can be found on the career agent's card.
Serenalin, I have suggested that they should do. We'll talk about what I think that they should do afterwards. But okay, so the contact Vesper suggested can be found in the career agent's card. Got it.
I suggest you take a moment to familiarize yourself with what each agent has to offer. They specialize in business, industry, military combat, and exploration. No matter what path you choose, you will find a career agent that can help you walk it. Once you've decided which one tickles your fancy, as the saying goes, set your destination.
I think it's funny that, so they switched it from the old style to the new style. There used to be 5 different careers or whatever for the career agents, but because there's only 4 types of people now, the manufacturer and the business are now both industrialist. It would also be super nice if these sorts of things, like these, allowed you to link to, say, the agency or something along those lines. Join this crew if you enjoy lasers, missiles, and generally making sure that somebody else has a really bad day. Also, I'm not even going to go into the career agents because those are...
Before we depart.
Stay safe out there, Captain. If our investigation uncovers any additional information on the attack, I'll be in touch.
Much appreciated, Miss Calatrix. I await any and all updates with bated breath. Metaphorically speaking, of course. I don't breathe. Captain, when you're ready, we can undock and begin the next phase of our journey. I do wonder how you'll die next. I suppose that is what ancient philosophers called morbid curiosity.
Yes, it's soldier. Oh, the missions? I don't think so. Not yet. When you're ready, click on dock. Wait. Whoa. Oh, okay, it does say click here to undock. Okay. Doesn't introduce the ideas of stations or how to find them in the overview as an example.
Now the
Well,
station
again,
is actively trying to kill us. I will teach you how to navigate in space. First, select the destination I've highlighted in your overview. Now, initiate jumping to your destination.
you just told me that because it's safe, you're going to be able to go deeper into it, and then you give me the exact same breakdown of information that you normally do.
After that rousing introduction to New Eden, it's nice to be in space without the threat of imminent peril. Though this is New Eden, peril often approaches when you least expect it.
Okay, so as I said, there's no clear path to learning and understanding some of this stuff without stumbling upon it or, being proactive about it. They don't introduce the overview or like what it is. Like if they even spent a few sentences, not even a huge breakdown, but just a few sentences,
Initiate jump sequence.
just saying, this is your overview.
I don't mean to unsettle you, Captain. You've already proven yourself capable in battle. I'm certain you can handle whatever New Eden throws your way. And if you cannot, at least you are immortal. You can be reborn into a new clone body to try again. I believe this is what humans call optimism.
I do like the fact that they're using this space. This is really good. The fact that each jump, she gives you a little bit more information, so that this is actually not overwhelming. It feels like it's paced out. It's kind of going with you. But my point is that all they would have to do is say, like, this is the overview. It allows you to see what is in, space around you, the different columns that
Initiate jump sequence.
that you can interact with it. The problem is that the first time they mention the Neocom, they do say what it is and to use it. And the first time they say the overview, they say to use it and they point to it, but they never actually tell you what they are. Right? Yeah. And the icons represent things, right? Wouldn't it be awesome if at some point it prompted you? Like there's a button, like a do you want to know more button, and it popped up and it showed you all of the different icons? Maybe?
According to archaeological findings, New Eden was first settled by humans over 15,000 years ago. Life must have been very difficult for those early settlers. Carbon-based life forms are stunningly fragile. With the right pressure, a human's vertebrae will snap like a twig.
Lovely. So, also, like, they don't mention the tabs. I've had new players get onto another tab and then be very, very confused as to how to do anything, like get back or whatnot. And they need to stress the fact that, having it being on this correct tab is very important. Otherwise, you may not even be able to see the threats that are coming at you. And that's a thing that a lot of people don't know. It doesn't tell you that. And then they go to LowSec or whatever, and they're on the mining tab, and they get blown up by a player, and they never even see the player. Like, all they see is their hit points evaporate, and they literally don't know why.
Captain, the station that houses your chosen career agent. Prepare for docking.
Yeah, it could have said that. It could have indicated that that's the icon for a station.
Warp drive.
It wouldn't take much to set people up for success and to help them understand how to get started playing with the stuff, right? People can play around and people can poke at stuff and learn, discover a new module or discover, hotkeys or whatever. Like, I don't necessarily need you to do the whole, like, hotkey thing. The hitting control and having it do nothing is kind of silly, but it's more the fact that it suggests that it is the hotkey. And then when I do it, I feel like it's not doing anything, right? I don't see the, if I don't see the text flash at the bottom, I may just think that it's not working.
Your ship's navigation. To contact a career agent, you must access the agency.
That one absolutely stepped on itself.
Well remembered, Captain. I knew you would be quick to learn. Now don't be shy. Begin a conversation with an agent. I'm sure they will love you. And if they don't, then they will simply have to tolerate you.
Okay. I do like her humor.
Missions provided by career agents
Also,
offer a variety of rewards, including new skills, ships, modules, and money in the form of ISK. To begin the next phase of what I'm certain will be an illustrious career as a capsuleer, accept a mission.
I get that in the beginning there is danger and now there's not, but that aura, there's something about the lighting in the danger mode aura that just comes off as like spooky as opposed to a person who's going through an alert. Like in a time in which you have nobody else, like I think that it should be closer to this, maybe with like a lights flashing around or something like that. But yeah. I felt very almost scared of aura during the tutorial when everything else is also being scary. To begin the next phase of what I'm certain to be illustrious careers. So this text, first of all, doesn't matter too much, but more importantly, it's just telling me to accept. And once you do, you lose that text. You can't go back and read the original text.
I am rather glad to be your aura.
Aww.
Have I said too much? My sentimentality protocols may need adjusting.
And this may not be relevant in this exact mission, but I've seen other missions that, like, the not being able to go back and look at the text that they gave you, the what they said. Like, what usefulness is there to this being replacing the other text?
Now it's time for you to venture out into the stars. Go forth and show New Eden what you are truly made of.
Never taught me about skills. You're going to tell me it's too nitpicky to not even teach them about the importance of skills and to always have training. Also, I know that there's an entire help section over here with videos. I know this, but you wouldn't know this from the tutorial. You wouldn't even know that this help section is there. It didn't tell you about it. In fact, it brought your attention to here. And, like, it didn't, again, by using the agency, but not introducing the agency, I don't actually learn anything about it. This is just a confusing thing that I saw for 7 seconds. And then I clicked on this one because they told me to. I don't see these tabs unless something brings it to my attention. Again, these are all things that maybe they shouldn't necessarily have to learn about each one in order to get through. But perhaps if they, when they say familiarize yourself, then it allows you to actually familiarize yourself. Where if you click on this one, it says something about what agents and missions are, something about what encounters are, something about what exploration is. But here is my suggestion, because it was talked about earlier, about how to do the tutorial when it comes to instances. What should happen is there should be like an exploration tutorial, or even go to the help section, whatever. Either way, I go to scanning, right? And let's say I'm out in space and I click on the scanning thing and I say start tutorial, right? Like, or better yet, in this exploration area, they'll have like a thing about the scanning. And it'll have like, begin scanning tutorial or something like that. And if I click it, it simply says, okay, dock up to prepare to do the scanning tutorial. So you dock up, and then it takes you to an instance with pre-designed situation. In the case of the exploration tutorial, it would be like 3 cans that you have to hack within 10 minutes in order to get out or whatever. But, controlled environments where you can teach that mechanic that they can trigger when they want to. You can't teach everything up front. You're not supposed to teach everything up front. Give people the bearings, and then give people like secondary things that teach them what they need when they need it. I also want to take a step back and say that I actually believe that this tutorial is pretty good. My criticism of this tutorial isn't to actually say that the tutorial is bad. The reason why I'm doing this, as I said at the beginning, is because CCP suggested that this is what they're building off of and that they wanted us to check it out and they wanted us to give feedback. I come from a theater background, and in my opinion, being able to give your criticism like that, and I even, I did point out some of the good things, and there are a lot of good things. It's pretty, and there's some things that are done really well, but more importantly, pointing out all of these little details that may not be brought up otherwise. That's how we get a good MPE, right? Like, a lot of these features, a lot of these things I'm asking for probably are not, or that I'm talking about, probably aren't not there because they intended to, or they cut their losses. It's that it didn't get brought up, or they didn't think of it that way, or, whatever, right? Part of the point is that in the past, tutorials were like, the MPE was like 3 hours long. This one is 30 minutes, and they are going to go on and build it from there. But at the same time, as I keep stressing, this is what makes and breaks a new player, right? This is what decides whether or not a player sticks with it. Most new players won't even make it through the MPE. So this may be the only experience that they have. And even those who do, the MPE needs to not only set them up for success, but it needs to do so without setting up undue expectations, right? So you have to teach people how the game itself is going to work, both mechanically and aesthetically. That was one of the problems with some of the more story-driven MPEs in the past. So I do want to talk about microtransactions and EVE Online and a free-to-play sort of environment. EVE Online totes itself to be a free-to-play game. And Josh Strife, as well as other people, speak very negatively about free-to-play games as opposed to subscription-based games. The problem with a free-to-play game is that if the game's primary motivation or monetization rather, is a free-to-play model, that means that they are, the way that they make money from you is from getting you to buy microtransactions, which means either give you things that you really, really want or things that you need. And the issue with that second part is that it becomes far too easy for a developer of these games to introduce new problems such that they can then sell the solution to it, right? That is the nightmare scenario that's the acid that erodes even the best intending free-to-play game. However, EVE Online is not a free-to-play game, according to Josh Strife. By his definition, basically, if you can access everything in the game, if you can access all of the content without paying, eventually, then it is considered to be a free-to-play game by his definition, right? If there are pieces of the game that are still gated behind pay, especially a subscription pay, then it is no longer it is not a free-to-play game, it is a subscription MMO. For example, Final Fantasy Online, or Final Fantasy XIV's tutorial, or not tutorial, free-to-play mode is literally the first 60 levels. It's like 100 hours of content. It is a full game in and of itself, but it's still not the whole game. So it's not free to play. It's still that game that you're still playing the whole time. That first 60 levels is still just the trial. right? In World of Warcraft, you can play forever up until a certain level, and that's the trial. In EVE Online, it is you can access a certain amount of stuff, but then in order to get higher than that, get better than like the more advanced technology than that, you're going to need to become a subscriber. The biggest difference between EVE and those other MMOs is that in our game, you can actually revert back to a trial mode, right? That's the big difference. In most of those other games, once you become a subscriber, you then either continue to subscribe or lose access. In EVE, it reverts you back to a trial state, which makes it an incredibly expansive trial, or an giving trial, as it were, but it is still a trial, and that's not a bad thing. In this case, the fact that it is that is what protects it from the damaging nature of free-to-play. In essence, the CCP is still encouraged to maximize the number of subscribers to the game, which means their incentive is to keep people continually connected, satisfied, and subscribed. Whereas a free-to-play mode is about twisting the screws and getting people to pay you to get out of it, right? So, and I believe, I feel that EVE has pretty firmly stayed on that side, where it is, the expectation is a player of EVE will be subscribed. That some people do stay alpha, and you know what? Some people stay below, do the level 60 stuff from Final Fantasy 14 and never worry about going up above there. There's hundreds of hours of content there, but they could still subscribe and then get passed to the more. You can play alpha for as long as you want, but you can still subscribe and get to the more, right? So EVE is a subscription-based model with a very cool trial, with that unique feature of being able to regress back to a trial mode. Now, the other issue is pay to win. And again, Josh Strife Hayes' definition is that pay to win means that any progress that you can purchase in the game, not just to win, but any progress in the game that can be purchasable by cash, he believes is a negative, because at that point, it violates what's considered to be the sanctity of the game. If the game has zero pay to win mechanics, then that means that the only progress that you make within that game is the effort that you put into the game, right? Even if a system allows you to level skip or just get beyond the problems that other people have to, progress, pay to progress. The reason why pay to progress is still pay to win is because it influences, it changes the value of your work within the game, because it will always be the most efficient way to progress in one of those games to get a real life job and then spend your cash to progress within the game. Okay? EVE does have this problem. Plex, right? EVE is undeniably pay to win. Ironically, the Omega system doesn't necessarily make it pay to win. That makes it a pay to play game, a subscription based model. The fact that you can purchase skill packs, the fact that you can purchase Plex at all, and then sell that for in-game ISK, means that it is still possible, it is still true, that the best way to earn ISK in EVE Online is to go get a job and not play EVE Online. Now, whether or not that's a problem, that's something that I probably disagree with him about. I think that simply the fact that you could do it more efficiently with outside effort doesn't necessarily diminish the fact of what you can make in progress with in-game effort, because I'm not necessarily playing the game simply to progress. I'm not playing the game to make my money go up or make my SP go up. I'm playing the game because I enjoy the game, right? And so the idea that I would work a job that isn't playing the game in order to progress this game, when really what I want to do is play the game. Like, I don't mind that it is less efficient on my time to progress with in-game effort, because that's doing the thing that I want to do anyways. That my value of my time is not just how efficiently I can progress, like maximize that efficiency. So as I mentioned, what his definition was is that pay to progress is included as pay to win. So if you can buy skill point packs, or if you can buy ISK with real life, if you can turn real life money into ISK, that is pay to win. And the argument being that in a competition, right? If you're competing with another person within the game, or other people within the game, and some people buy their ISK with money, and some people buy their ISK with in-game effort, the people that buy their ISK with money will progress faster for the same amount of effort. That's the issue that he expresses. There's a few things that make this not necessarily as big of a problem. Largely the ephemeral nature of things in Eve, right? No progress in that sense is necessarily permanent, and even skill point progress doesn't necessarily make you win the game, or even necessarily better at the game. It just means that you can be flying more expensive ships. So arguably the ability to progress with skill points through skill injectors and purchasing skill packs is that, but it could also be argued that that is necessary for a 20-year-old game to have such catch-up mechanics, such that new players do not necessarily feel that they're 20 years behind other players, and that's just it. However, when it comes to the actual like buying of power in Eve, the fact that it will evaporate and therefore you'll be set back to before you purchased it, and the fact that that ISK comes from other players. So in other words, yes, the person who is buying their ISK through Plex is earning that ISK faster per hour for their effort used to earn that ISK, but their doing so is actually stimulating the market and giving more ISK to the people that are putting in or rather better value to the people who are earning that ISK, right? Because they'll probably sell it for a worse rate because they just need to turn around for ISK. If there's more people selling Plex to progress, then that means that the people that have the ISK that want to buy the Plex will be able to buy the Plex for cheaper. All right. I think that's... there's a couple other things. Shoot. But now I can't really remember what it was. It's been a journey. Eve isn't purely pay to win. It's just that other things being equal. Yeah, I mean, I generally agree with that sentiment, that pay to win means that you're given an advantage that you cannot get without paying. My point is that his argument was a compelling one. Like he just drew a different line, but he gives a very decent argument as to why it should be considered that way, because the effect is the same, right? Which is his practical effect is, does this allow real life means to produce in-game means? And that's the thing. That's the point of the issue, which is that these video games are supposed to be escapist They're supposed to be a separate reality, right? A leveling of the playing field. How good or bad you are in the game is solely based on your commitment in that game. When you allow people to spend money to progress in the game, now those who are stupid rich in real life can also become, leverage that power into Eve. And that is absolutely true. There are absolutely whales in this game that have, put together, like, bought tons of ISK or tons of SP in order to progress themselves super quickly and get into stuff, because to them, that, what would be a crippling amount of money, a staggering amount of money for most like gamers. I mean, not like totally staggering, but like a few $1,000s even. Like, that may be considered a lot for a video game that you're just investing in. But to a person who's making a lot of money, to a person who's very, very well off, that may not be seeming to be as much, which means now your real life means translates directly to your in-game means. And that's actually a compelling argument that could be that's not great. But again, I would argue that in Eve there are specific things that resist that. The fact that things are permanently destroyed, the fact that they drop, and such are a big factor in that. But also, like, it almost doesn't matter, because when you get to that scale, what really makes your power is your soft skills, right? You can be as rich as you are in real life and buy as much power as you want to in game. But if you aren't part of a group of people that can back you up, then your progress will be, only so far. At some point, your real power comes from how well you can bring people together and get things done. Okay. Doesn't trading present a way to shortcut? Well, that's in-game effort. You mean, yeah, so that's a funny way of thinking about it. If you could potentially earn more ISK doing trading than you could earn ISK in real life by flipping burgers, just because of how good of a day you could have with trading. But that's very inconsistent. Imagine there are two alliances fighting for Sov. And they're the same in every way, except for the average income for one is higher than the other. The American alliance might have an advantage over a Russian alliance because Americans have more disposable income to spend on Eve than Russians. Exactly. Or, it's even worse? The price of things in Eve Online isn't the same everywhere. So, the buying power of like how much it costs to buy the Plex in America versus other markets may also just be straight up different. There are plenty of whales that have the infrastructure, knowledge, and support needed. Not every whale is just some random sitting in high sec wanting a low sec super. You're absolutely correct. And there's a lot of people that like go somewhere in the middle where they augment their stuff. But my point is that like Josh's position is predicated on the assumption that the competition, like he also talks about the fact that hardcore MMOs always degrade to very few cabals being able to control a large variety, most of the game and ruining it for everybody else. And while you do see some of that in nullsec, glorification to you, Nova. Thank you for that raid. While you do see that in somewhat in nullsec with like the blue donut and all that stuff, their ability to project into things like faction warfare space, wormhole space, ISEC, these other places of the world is relatively low. So there's plenty of other places within the game. Yeah, the Eve is too big to have that problem happen. So yes, someone can get into a golem faster than by paying for it than through in-game effort. Just by raw hours to getting it. Even if you assume that the other person, the in-game person, is buying skill injectors with their in-game effort to get to the golem early. But in the end, that isn't what... That's only progress to some definitions, if that makes sense, right? Like, the impact of that person who bought that golem on my world is probably relatively low on an individual level. On a institutional level, yeah, it does run into a problem. And we have seen accusations of that over the last couple of years with places like Fraternity and whatnot, where there's been massive accusations of RMT or other such things. It does become a problem in the game. But on the subject of RMT, it also, like, the whole reason why Plex was introduced in the game in the first place was because people were already buying ISK. It wasn't like everybody was totally like e-honor. Nobody ever did anything wrong or bought ISK illegally in EVE prior to the introduction of Plex, and now people can just buy and sell or, you know, buy ISK with it in out-of-game money. They were already doing that, right? There were third-party sellers that, just like every other MMO, that was selling this stuff. And so that sanctity was already violated. Plex just standardized the ability to control it and ensured that the people who really benefited from it are the people who need to benefit from it, which is CCP and the people in-game that are selling them the ISK on the market. Or selling them the Plex, buying the Plex with ISK on the market. ISK is not what gives you game in the power in the game. Players are what gives you power. I would argue that the one conflict with that notion is the fact that you can buy skill injectors with ISK. CCP selling 13 million SP to people directly for $300 is an issue, IMO. Two things about that. First of all, as I mentioned, catch-up mechanics are important. And honestly, if at this point, if somebody is willing to pay in order to get past the SP hurdle, like, I'm not going to fault them, because honestly, the skill pointing process may be like too long anyways, right? Like, I don't know if I necessarily fault somebody for wanting to speed up their skill point training now and are willing to spend money for it. Just because we're that far along in the game's life. The other thing about that, though, Macwanissa, is that I believe the one that you're referring to is, because local, you notice how local is giving a different amount? Everybody saw a different amount. And the reason why is because they're not selling you free SP. They're selling you the opportunity to buy the SP that you have missed. The SP, the number that they give you is based on how much SP you could have gotten if you had been training your character this whole time. But if it detects, or if they see that you have lapsed your account or something like that, okay, well, whatever. For the most part, from my understanding, that's what that comes from. I haven't heard of a second offer that's based on things that high. All of the offers that come up that are above 1 million SP, as far as I know, is that they're allowing you to buy the SP that you have that you failed to train but could have. So I personally feel like that's a little bit different. I see that other people might see it differently, but I think that that's the theme of what I'm trying to talk about here with the tutorial and with everything else, which is that CCP spends a lot of time like showing new things, or getting like 2 steps ahead of the process, that they don't actually explain well what's going on. They don't make sure that the people are well grounded in understanding. The people that get that offer don't know why they're getting it. necessarily, or what it represents. I only know this because I've talked to CCP about it, and I think that that's the real problem. There is not the actual offer itself, but how badly it was processed, or how badly it's communicated. Thank you for that, local. Welcome to the rabbit hole, which is EVE Online. But I will say that I don't like. Oh, this is a different offer. Starter pack, 7 days of Omega, 10 plex, frigate skins and suits. Unlock better ships with Omega. Exchange plex for million is to buy weapons. Double training speed. And see, this is actually okay. This is better. This is a good example. On this line, it tells you all of the things that you get. You get 7 days of Omega, 10 plex, you get frigate skins, and some suits. Probably these two. And then underneath it, the bullet points exclusively describe what these things mean. Unlike the previous one, where the first two were the things that you got, and the middle one was what they meant. Clicking buy. Brings me to this. Just lets me buy it. Let's look at other packs. So one of the things that he gets people on, or gets games on, is how much the Plex packs match the things that you're going to be buying, right? So let's look at the in-game store. Everything's pink right now. I should go in and get some of these. So, first of all, we can be upset that things like alpha skill injectors exist in the game, but CCP certainly doesn't ever communicate to people that they exist or how to buy them, right? Like, I wouldn't even know where to look to get them, but here they are. In fact, I might accidentally buy extractors. I know people who have. So, 20 plex for this. 1 month of Omega is 500 plex. So let's look at the deals. We have 220 plex, 440 plex. So this, oh no, this is 500 plex. They actually sell, hey, that makes me feel good. They sell exactly 500 plex, which is how much you need for Omega. Now, it's $15, it's $20 instead of 15, but I just, given how many games he shows where that doesn't work out, but let's say you are looking for extractors, 630. Let's see how easy it is to get 630. Shoot, I forgot to minimize the window again. Sorry. But 630. So here's 500 and 510. So that would get me 610. So I would have to get 740 plex to buy the 5 skill extractors. Now, the other piece to this is, and probably why they're willing to do these non-predatory pricings like this, is the fact that this plex can then be sold on the secondary market, right? So that normal instinct to give you an uneven amount to make it so that you always have some of that premium currency locked in, or have to buy more, doesn't really work in this case because you can just sell the extras. So there's no real advantage to them to selling plex in like really bizarre packs or sets. All right, so for $99.99, I get 1,500 plex, which we established 500 plex is $20, so that's $60 in plex. 90 days in Omega, so that's 45. So $105 there, and we're already above the $99. That's pretty cool. 650,000 skill points. I don't know skill points to time here. I mean, this is about 15 days of skill training, I think. But and then a Cerebral Accelerator and the Orca Radioactive Reclamation skin. So this, I mean, this pack is pretty good, but it is $100. Is that the most expensive pack? Apparently, it's more expensive to be a Soldier of Fortune than it is to be an... Oh, the Black Ops pack. Of course. Of course. Is that the biggest one? I think that's going to be the biggest one. Oh, there's the Foreman pack. That's 140. I should have looked at that one. But we're going to look at this Black Ops pack. Or, nope, that's the Destroyer. This, we're going to probably close on this one. This ticks me off. But I've talked about this before, so I'll be brief. This is a pretty good deal. But one of the problems that I don't like about this is that, well, first of all, I think this is one of the ways that they are kind of deceptive, or at least confuse people sometimes. They refer to multiple character training. If they do not refer to it as a certificate, that means that it is not something that can be sold. It is only, like on the secondary market, it automatically applies to your account, and you have to use it on that account, right? So this is not the item that can be traded or sold. This is instead just having, as if you'd use 6 of those on your account to begin with. What ticks me off, though, is that this is the only way to get these skins. Now, this pack has stayed up for a while, which might be fine, but there will likely come a day in which these skins could only have been gotten through getting this pack. And already, the other Black Ops pack... Hold on a second. Hold on. Ship skins. Miscellaneous? Yeah. You can't... Wait, hold on. There they are. Okay, you can get the Ice Blade. So you can get the Ice Blade version, the blue version, in the main store, in the New Eden store. But you have to buy... The only way to get the red version of this skin, besides buying it from somebody who bought it and is selling it to you for ISK, is to pay $250. That is probably the most flagrant thing that they have. But it is true that they've gotten a lot better about this when it comes to newer events. It is interesting that, like right now, the Serpentis heart bundle, the Serpentis ships can only be gotten through the premium shop, but they have been available previously, and assuming that they like alternate or something like that, then that could be potentially fine. Has an alliance ever won a war simply through personal income and wealth? I mean, so the problem with that question is that who knows for sure? Not only would not only would they not necessarily be honest about it. No, the heart surge don't drop. Those are premium only. Shoot, where was I? I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, not only would the Alliance not necessarily be honest about it, but neither would the people leveraging the accusations, right? Like, that's the kind of thing that would be difficult to actually prove. And both sides would be pretty dishonest about it. Illicit RMT is against the rules and gets punished pretty severely. All right. I think that that's about it for this.